Tower of God is a main-style webcomic, or webtoon, written and drawn by Lee Jong-hui, also known by the pen name SIU. It was created in 2010 as the first story in the Talse Uzer universe. It is edited and released for free by Naver, a popular South Korean search portal. It has been phenomenal in its success, and is translated into Japanese and English by Naver, and additionally to many other languages by way of fan translations. Plot: the story centers around a boy called 25th Balm, who has spent his life trapped beneath a mysterious tower. Chasing after his only friend, he manages to open a door into the tower, and must now face challenges at each floor of this mysterious tower as he tries to find his companion. Universe The tower is a mysterious structure that is completely enclosed and hosts many unique environments. It is permeated by an element called shinsu, which has strange properties. It is inhabited by many different intelligent species. Living on the top floors is associated with a higher status in the tower and better living conditions. This is a result of ascension from one floor to the next being only allowed by passing increasingly difficult tests of strength, dexterity and wit. Atop of the tower sit the 10 big families, which form the governing body of the tower, with a king as chief leader. The 10 leaders and forefathers of these families are known as the 10 Great Warriors, men of incredible power who together with Zaha descended the tower from the bottom to the known top and beyond, and who have been kept forever youthful thanks to the slow-down effect of time on the higher floors. Little is known of the tower's origin. Oldest historical records start with the incursion of Zaha and the 10 Great Warriors into the tower and their ascension. However, it is important to note that previous to their arrival, the different floors already were populated with peoples native to them. Similarly, guardians, monstrous but intelligent creatures who created the ascension tests for each floor predate Zaha and possibly have existed since the tower's creation. Each floor is composed of 3 layers, an external outer tower which serves as the residential area, an inner tower where regulars are tested, and a middle area, which acts as a network linking each floor. Residents of each floor are given the chance to ascend, provided that they are deemed worthy of doing so by Head-on, the first floor's guardian and caretaker of the tower. Such people are called chosen regulars. The tower is sealed from the vast, unknown outside by portentous, impenetrable doors. However, from time to time, extraordinary people, such as the 10 Great Warriors, are able to open the doors and enter in. Such people are called irregulars, and have much greater power than normal regulars, which make them feared and revered in turns. Only 5 irregulars have entered the tower in its long history since Zaha's ascension. According to the author, each floor is the size of the North American continent. Shinsu, roughly translated as divine water, is a substance found within the tower in varying concentrations on each floor. On the lower floors, Shinsu is diffuse and inconspicuous, similar to air. However, on higher floors, Shinsu increases in power and concentration, and is said to be viscous and flow, similar to water. High Shinsu resistance is required to enter these floors. Shinsu can be manipulated to enhance physical abilities, power weapons, and even manipulate the elements. Characters 25th Balm 25th Balm is the protagonist of the story. Balm is the latest irregular to enter the tower even though as a young and naive kid, he doesn't resemble at all the qualities that previous irregulars showed. Balm enters the tower in search of his best friend Rachel, the only person who visited him and cared for him in the years of isolation that he spent in a cave underneath the tower, presumably since birth. After entering the tower he meets Head-on, who seems amused and intrigued by his incursion in the tower. Head-on tells him all the answers that he seeks will be answered if he climbs the tower and presents him with a seemingly impossible and deadly test. Balm succeeds against all odds and is allowed to move on to the second floor, Evankel's testing area, where all would-be regulars start their ascension. Balm makes several friends among the candidates, and together they pass the many tests of the floor, gaining the right to climb the tower. Soon after, he's reunited with Rachel, but she seems to have an agenda of her own for which Balm would be an impediment. She betrays him, leaving him for dead and misleads Balm's friends. They are deeply saddened but agree to continue to climb the floors, carrying Rachel with them, believing that they fulfill Balm's dying wish. Balm returns 6 years later in Tower of God, Part 2, The Return of the Prince, using the alias Javiole Grace. Balm is now under the control of the infamous anti-government group FUG, forced to cooperate to keep his old teammates safe. Rachel is an irregular, and the Balm's first friend is she visits him in his cave from time to time before she enters the tower. She is the reason why Balm will try to climb the tower to find her. She desires to see the stars in the night sky at the top of the tower and is determined to reach it by all means. This wish comes from her fear of the darkness of the night. It is interesting to note that Balm's name means night. Later in the series, after a test, she is wounded and pretends to be heavily crippled. After this event, Balm declares that he will be her legs to help her continue climb the tower to pass the test. In a test, she decides to betray him and kill him. She unexpectedly stands up and pushes him out of the bubble, saying, "Sorry, Balm. Here you need to die." She later tells his friends that he died protecting her and profits from the pity of the group that wants to continue the task Balm had started, carrying her to the top of the tower. Kuneguro Agnes Kuneguro Agnes is from one of the 10 noble families that first climbed the tower, and the son of high-ranker Kunaduan. He meets Balm in the first test of the second floor, and deems him interesting enough to accompany and aids him while they climb the tower. He and Rak quickly becomes Balm's closest friends. Kun is named after the Argentinian soccer player Sergio Cunaga, one-quarter hero. Rak Wraithrazer Rak Wraithrazer is a large, powerful, and very confident spear bearer. He unwillingly teamed up with Balm and Kun during the first test of the second floor, however he quickly became attached to them during the following tests. Due to his features, he is sometimes referred to as alligator or gator. Rak is known to playfully call his friends turtles, the term by which he also earnestly addresses his prey. He loves bananas. Organizations Zahad's Empire Zahad is an irregular who created the Zahad Empire and is the current ruler of the 134 floors of the tower that have thus far been explored. He is the third most powerful being in the tower. Long ago, Zahad and the 10 family heads come from somewhere outside the tower. They managed to enter the tower and climbed it, defeating each floor's guardian up to the 134th floor. They were unable to conquer the 135th floor, so they halted at the 134th, from where Zahad and the 10 family heads created their empire, conducting tests on behalf of the floor guardians. FUG is a nebulous organization composed of various defectors of the 10 great families, whom they are intent on destroying. It is led by Grace Mercia Lujlek, who climbed the tower alongside Zahad before becoming dissident. FUG's social hierarchy revolves around slayers, viewed as gods, who are powerful beings intended to kill the family heads. Lujlek is Slayer number 1, and other slayers include Karaka, Baelord Yama, and Amort. Ha-Jin Sung is a powerful high-ranker. FUG believes that Balm has the ability to kill Zahad, and thus wish to use him for their own purposes, disregarding Balm's will. Wolhake Song, the Winged Pine Tree Under the Moon, or the Wing Tree, is an organization created by Eric Mazzino and Baek Roon with the goal of finding a way out of the tower. It has been described as having power equivalent to one of the 10 families, though while their interests may occasionally conflict due to differing views, Wolhake Song does not wish to overthrow the 10 families. Wolhake Song has also been described as a mutual association with more resemblance to a social club than to one of the great families. During the course of the story, Wolhake Song becomes interested in Balm, and intervene during the workshop tournament in order to protect Balm from his FUG rivals. References. External links: Tower of God official website on Naver, Tower of God official website on webtoon, Tower of God for desktop from webtoon, Tower of God official fan translation website on webtoon.